the gallery today. Today is the Trans Day of Remembrance. On the Trans Day of Remembrance, we gather to mourn the trans, non-binary, two-spirited community members we have lost, and we celebrate those who are still with us. As a member of the trans and non-binary community, a person who uses they and them pronouns, the very first MPP to do so, I'm honored to bring our TDOR remarks on behalf of the official opposition, Ontario NDP. It is vital to honor the trans people, friends, neighbors, co-workers, family members, and to remember their impact on all our lives and our communities. It's important to listen to trans people, especially trans people of color, when they say, "Give us our roses while we're still here." Today is the 25th anniversary of the very first ever Trans Day of Remembrance, organized in 1999 by the transgender advocate Gwendolyn Ann Smith. The very first TDOR was held in Boston in the form of a vigil to honor the memory of Rita Hester, a transgendered woman who was killed in 1998. I'm grateful to be surrounded by so many community members, including the Reverend Sherry DeNovo, whose private members bill is the reason why we're here to recognize TDOR and have our moment of silence today. Being trans is beautiful, and gender expansiveness has existed across time and culture. There's nothing that politicians can say or do or fail to do that can erase trans people, no matter how hard they try. Being trans has always been an experience that has been fraught, but for several seasons of progress, we are now seeing right-wing backlash that is targeting trans people. It's scary right now, Speaker, especially how trans people are being used in America in the American election by Donald Trump, who stoked hatred and fear in order to secure a win. In Ontario, Speaker, we can do better. Horrifying legislation is being passed in Alberta and New Brunswick, which will result in trans children taking their own lives. We know this because it happened in other places similarly before. Under similar laws, many people are making safety plans, taking legal and other steps to protect themselves and their loved ones in the face of these new laws and threats. In Ontario, we can do better. But we are not immune to transphobia here in our province. This very government voted against my bill to improve and expand access to gender-affirming health care in Ontario. I am worried, Speaker, that people in Ontario are being misled and fed false narratives about what it means to be trans and what gender-affirming care is. The truth is, most people who receive gender-affirming care are not trans people. They are cisgender people. Those whose gender assigned at birth matches up with their internal understanding of their gender. Men and boys who are diagnosed with gynecomastia, or abnormal but not harmful breast tissue and growth, are eligible for surgery to flatten their chests. Women who undergo mastectomies, lumpectomies, and other breast surgeries as a form of cancer treatment are immediately eligible for breast reconstruction surgery. It's discussed as a part of their cancer treatment plan. Most people who receive hormone replacement therapy or puberty blockers are not transgender people, but cisgender people who need hormone support. These are the types of gender-affirming health care, and there is no need for them to sign petitions, to table legislation, fight for funding, or even debate it at Queen's Park. Those medical interventions and others offered by OHIP are not offered because they are necessary for physical survival of the patient, but they are offered because they affirm the gender of the patient and alleviate very present mental distress that they experience, which can be life-threatening. These procedures are funded, and they continue to be, just like the gender-affirming care and surgeries that many trans folk require. Most people in this room will remember when radical conservatives were trying to tell us that gay marriage was something immoral, that our society would crumble if you allow gays and lesbians to marry, if you allow us to adopt children, allow us to have children, to allow us to be legitimate family members. But we know that all that has come to pass. Society has not crumbled. We are flourishing as a province because of that equality. This is the same thing that we want for trans communities. We will continue to strive for it. Today, we will be raising the transgender flag at 2:30, sponsored by the Friends of Ruby. This is a 33-bed shelter in my community, the very first, one of the first ones ever set up in Ontario. I welcome all members of this House to join us, followed by a 3 p.m. reception. As we like to say in our community, all are welcome. Thank you.